channel. I just wanted to tap in with y'all today, be consistent, and do my reaction to the situations that transpired. Because that situation and that attempt was, I gotta say, it was staged. But I'm gonna go ahead and wait for some individuals to come on, and let's talk about it. We could debate it out, we could communicate, but let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation because it needs to be had. This two-party system, this duopoly that we're dealing with here in America is a problem, and we have to deal with it accordingly. So I think the title or the caption may signify some red flags, to YouTube, but it is what it is. We're going to take a deep dive and communicate, and a deep dive and really try to, peel this thing back layer by layer like a banana, and really try to understand what's going on, because this situation is crazy. What we're seeing and what we're dealing with in society as a whole, what we're forced to deal with as American citizens, having to choose between the two rivaling tribes, the two parties, the oppositions, and to basically witness what we witnessed over the weekend. They tried to give us a John F. Kennedy moment, just like when Kennedy got assassinated in Dallas, Texas, riding through the city in a convertible. Whose idea was that? And then it took, 50 to 75 years for us to really see what's going on because they classified all the documentation. So we got to really understand what's really going on. So he missed, and that was a good thing, but I got to go ahead and just be honest with you and let you know that God loves everybody. He's the Father of all. And if it wasn't for those teleprompters and him turning his head and getting clipped, we would be having a different conversation. And the crazy things about it is that the mainstream media, social media, their job is to basically block it all, to create the narrative, to hide and tuck information because they don't want the truth to come out. Because if we really pay attention to what's going on, they're working with their outlets, because usually they let us do what we do. But for some strange reason, if you bring in these topics or discussions in these conversations, they make sure that you rely on the CNN, the MSNBC, the ABC and NBC, because they try to actually build their media brand back. Because prior to this assassination attempt, social media was winning. And then if you pay attention, the news outlets basically take clips and take ideas to basically, promote their show because no one's paying attention to what they're doing. So when individuals sit back and say this was a staged event, I'm gonna go ahead and say it was 100% staged, because they staged an assassination of President Donald Trump. It was a staged assassination. We were supposed to be in mourning. We were supposed to be hurt, and we were supposed to have a significant moment in history, just like they did when John F. Kennedy got his head blown off in Dallas, Texas. Because it was weird to me to have all of the news outlets, the anchors, everybody was on call. Kamala Harris was in Pennsylvania, and everybody was sitting there ready to go on record and say, we just witnessed an assassination of former President Donald Trump. But for some strange reason, it didn't happen. The shooter missed. And it's crazy how that individual was able to get on top of the incident or the command post of the local law enforcement that was contracted to actually take care of the perimeter. Okay, you had Secret Service inside, but somebody talked to somebody, and they allowed the assailant, the assassin, attempted assassin, to basically stage on top of the command post and was able to fire off shots because clearly he was hired to do a job. And it's crazy because there's no way we can actually get out of this, because Secret Service and our government we're supposed to be one of the most, the top dog of them all. When I say the top dog of them all, the best police, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, local law enforcement, our military, but for some strange reason, we let a 20-year-old boy get on the roof and basically attempt to blow the head off of a former president who was basically doing a speech in rural Pennsylvania. And if you understand the county or the area where they were, that was a rural area. So he was basically speaking to a lower class of whites. One of the ladies said, we're cows and chickens, and that basically blew my mind. But for them to contract a secondary party or a third party to basically take care of the perimeter, the exterior outside of the perimeter, clearly this was a situation where they, it was kind of strange. And for that individual to be able to do what he did, for law enforcement to turn a blind eye, for local law enforcement to turn a blind eye and allow this to happen, it clearly shows and indicates that they were infiltrated. If I was part of the investigation, I would basically be investigating the local law enforcement. I would be investigating the rifle club that he was associated with, and I will be investigating the security team that basically was contracted to take care of the exterior, because local law enforcement allowed the individual to get on the roof of their command post, and that's been documented, and then allow him to take off shots and allow him to do what he did. It's crazy. So when you talk about infiltrating, when you talk about taking an individual that was bullied, an individual that wasn't all there. If you look at him, he looked retarded. He looked like, it's always the weird ones. And think about it. Yes, he was a registered Republican, and I'm sure he registered because he wanted to vote for Trump. But some strange reason, when you have two rivaling tribes and their whole talking point is, we got to get rid of Trump. We got to, not let Trump win. We got to beat Trump. And then in terms of individuals like this, they might hear that as dog whistle politics and say, then we got to go ahead and do what we got to do. But I guarantee you, if you pay attention, somebody got into that man's head and they got into his head, I would be basically investigating the entire rifle club and the entire local law enforcement, because when you're living in a rural town like that, everybody has a price. And for him to get on the roof of the command post, and this looks like a shed, and nobody heard anything and nobody came down, they had orders to stand down. So everybody will be under investigation. So this is the date, this is what we're living in here in America, and it's strange. So like I said, I'm out at the water park today and I got a little inspiration. So I'm going to go ahead and put something together. We're going to have a real conversation. We're going to peel it back. We're going to fight the algorithms. We're going to fight to pretty much put out the correct narrative, so the American people need to understand what's going on. So this two-party system, we should not be shooting our opponents. We should not be trying to kill individuals that, see things differently like us. But as a black man, I truly understand, because the assassin's bullet has changed history so many times. But this is an opportunity to where we can really pay attention, because he missed. So whatever they was trying to stop is full throttle. The two-party system is over. Democracy is dead. And it's time to shuffle in a new regime. And that's theocracy. So with that being said, man, y'all have a great day. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be tapping in with y'all. Okay? And hit those notifications, because we're going to go up. And we're going to talk about this. All right? With that being said, man, have a great day. It's your man, Bushan Glover, Better Black America TV.